What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and this is Bowl Season 1, Episode 14. It's classified. So when I was looking on IMDb at this episode and, looking up the name, looking up the episode number, I saw 6.9, and that's the lowest this season so far until this episode from last night. So as I'm watching it and I'm starting to get into it, I'm like, how could this possibly be the worst episode? First of all, it's the most unique because they're on a military base. It's like, that's interesting. Now it's a court martial. That's different. And on top of that, they get hacked halfway through, so now the information they've been using is completely false. So now they got to find a way around that. That's interesting. And so I'm just watching this. I'm like, yeah, this is interesting. How is this possibly? How could this be the worst episode? And then we get to the end, and yeah, I can see it. And don't get me wrong, like, it's different this time they lose, but it ends up they end up kind of winning anyway, and that's my biggest frustration. If you were going to let them win, let them find a way around it. Let them find out how to figure this situation out. Let them figure out a way, okay, we have all the false information, we can use that, somehow. Maybe it was the opposite of what we were getting. Maybe every answer was changed to the opposite type of answer, so now they have to do like a reverse profile or something like that. That would be interesting. Or Bull figures out their profile on the go, on the wing, without the use of all the technology. That would be interesting. But instead, she loses, which, okay, that's still interesting. But then Bull looks up some information, finds a loophole to where the commanding officer, the general, whoever, can actually override it because he's the presiding officer or something like that. So he stands up and says, oh, since I'm the presiding officer, what I think she did is despicable, but we need to make sure that we hire the people, or we don't hire the mistakes and fire the people that are showing us those mistakes. And so instead of like 12 years in Leavenworth, she ends up having to serve a year at the military base, and then she's out of the military. So it's almost like not really a punishment. She still gets to work with them. But like I said, it's almost like she lost, but they still come up with a quick way to say, oh no, she won. I don't really like that. Either have her be found innocent because of some clever way they get out of this, or let her be found guilty, and now they have to deal with the fact that they lost. They don't always win. So it feels like they did neither. It feels like they just kind of said, she still wouldn't win in a situation like this, but we can't have it be a sad ending, so let's find a happy way out of this. It's lazy writing is what it is. I mean, at the end of A Few Good Men, did they say, oh, those two are out of the military, but we're going to let them stay on the base for at least another year just so they can enjoy it a little bit? No! They won most of the case, but those two guys still got kicked out of the military. It's like, that's still sad. It was partially happy because the bad guy got what he deserved, but it's still not completely happy. There's still not a 100% happy ending. And while, she's still out of the military, it's almost like where she was going to be punished for this, now she's not punished at all. She's completely out of punishment. The only bad thing is she can't be a part of the military anymore, but she still gets to be for another year. She still gets to be involved for another year. It's almost like, so, that's still pretty happy. I don't know. It felt so forced as far as endings go. It felt so much like it was a rushed ending. Like, oh, we need a way out of this. We can't let it be a depressing ending. We can't let it end sad. We need to have everybody be happy. So, let everybody be happy. She still gets punished, so the colonel or the general is happy, but she still gets to be there for another year and doesn't have to go to prison. So she's kind of happy. It's like, come on, that's just kid stuff right there. It's not always like that. It's not how real life is. So I will say that, yeah, that's kind of disappointing that they decided to end it that way. However, I still don't think it deserves such a low rating. The stuff before is still very interesting. The stuff on the court-martial, them getting hacked, having to deal with that, it was pretty intense watching it. And on top of that, Benny has to go through some interesting character development in this, because we see he and Bull didn't communicate, because Bull didn't want him to know what was going on, but he wanted her, the client, to spill the beans about the classified information. Benny, trying to step in and protect her, ends up spilling the beans himself and gets arrested by the FBI. And so now it's kind of a little bit of a clash between him and Bull. I'm not sure it's 100% resolved. Like it almost feels like one of those things where Benny sees what he was trying to do, sees that he was trying to protect him, but he's still not really happy with it. He's still not accepting of the fact that he didn't tell him, he didn't give him the information. So I'm curious to see where that's going. And then on top of that, at the end of all of it, some strange kid comes up and hands him a letter, and apparently he's being investigated by some sort of committee. So I'm not sure where that's going either, but that was definitely interesting, and I'm curious to see what's going to happen next with him, because I don't know. It's one of those things where I'm learning more about trial stuff from this show, but I still don't know everything, so I'm still not entirely sure how the justice system works and all that. But I mean, that part of it is still interesting, and I'll say that's the part of the show that I'm still really enjoying. Even if it ends pretty cheaply like this, I'm still learning about some of the justice system stuff. I'm still getting invested in these characters. I'm still enjoying some of the stuff that they're doing, trying to help their client, because their client's not somebody who deserves this. Their client wasn't somebody who deserved to go to prison for 12 years. Even though, yeah, in the military you kind of have to be a bit more, I guess, you're not allowed to be as free in the military almost. Like, I know it sounds weird, but there are certain decisions that you make that if you're not careful with them, it could lead to something like what happened in this episode. So it does make sense that she does deserve some sort of punishment for it, but I still don't think that just kind of throwing all the punishment aside and still kind of rewarding her for what she did, it just didn't seem right. So maybe that's just me. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What did you like and dislike about this episode? What did you think about the ending? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Bull reviews, and I'll see you at the next one. Peace out.